Justin, what kind of challenges would the Cleveland defense present to your offense?
A whole lot of challenges. You know, they've got an incredible front seven and some of the best pass rushers this league has ever seen. And, you know, they're really well coached. They do a lot of good things on defense. So we've been watching a lot of film. Have to prepare well to give ourselves a shot on Sunday.
When you see Myles, Garrett, and Jadeveon Clowney, just what makes them so unique from what you've seen on film?
Just the combination of power, speed, quickness, explosiveness, all the things they're able to do is incredible, and we have to do our best to have a solid protection plan going into the game so that we have any chance on Sunday.
Justin, talking to Joe yesterday, he really commended where your processing is at this point and how you're able to protect the football, get the ball quickly against the Raiders. In terms of your processing, where are you now compared to where you were in your rookie season?
That's a good question. I've kind of joked about it a couple of times. And last year, being new to the NFL, being new to the system, you're just worried about opening up the right way. You're worried about making the right call and doing all these little things that kind of now you kind of overlook. And you know, I think we've made so much progress over the past year. And I think with Shane and Joe Lombardi and Chandler and all those guys in the quarterback room, I think they've helped me a ton. And there's still plenty of room for improvement. But the more you're around them, the more you get out there and have experience, I think you get a lot better.
There were reports this week Baker's playing with a torn labrum. What's the most painful injury you've ever played through?
I've broken my femur in high school. Wasn't able to play through that one, but that was pretty painful.
Justin, Austin Eckler is starting to have a great running game along with Larry Roundtree. How much does that improve the passing game? Could you feel that in the last game?
Yeah, I think they've done an incredible job all year, and I think as long as you're balanced and have a good attack both in the run game and the pass game on offense, I think you're really tough to stop. I really believe in our offensive linemen up front, and I know that we can run the ball behind those guys. And anytime you give the ball to Austin Eckler, Larry, or even Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, those guys are going to fight for yards. So they make our offense a lot better.
Justin, with last week, Keenan and Mike not having like the biggest stat game. Was it something the Raiders did, or was you just kind of prefer going to Jared Cook and the other guys for that game?
That's just the way the Raiders play their defense, and we knew going into it, it's going to be a completions, checkdowns, find your tight ends, find your backs. We're going to do our best to push the ball down the field, but the Raiders do a great job of sinking in their zones and covering that. And you know, it's always our plan to get those guys the ball, but anytime you can get Jared Cook, Don Parham, Steven, all those guys the ball, and get the win, I think that's the most important part.
Justin, that play against the Raiders where Ngakoue came off the left edge free, you got the ball out to Jared quickly. People talk about like quarterbacks having a feel in the pocket, but when your back's turned to a defensive end like that, how do you feel that pressure? Like, did you know he was coming, or?
That's a good question. That's kind of just a protection game plan thing that we kind of studied, and we knew that in that look, you know, they've got an overload to that side, and they're bringing one more guy than that we had. And so thankfully, I peeked it before I got the ball out. Jared, knowing that, gets out quickly on his route, and we can get him the ball. And it was only a 3 or 4 yard gain, but I think the flip side of that is, you know, a big sack or a fumble. So I think talking about that all week was huge for us.
So you based on the look, you sort of were expecting a free rusher from somewhere, and so you knew.
Yeah,
just to get
exactly.
out. Okay.
Yes, and Joe, on that same topic, Joe said he doesn't know if you can teach a guy that. So when he said it with you, it almost seems innate. Do you think you can learn that, or is it more just a sense of like some people are born that way and some people aren't?
Well, I appreciate the kind words from him. I think it's taken a lot of time to figure that out, and I think those are a lot of the plays last year that maybe we don't make. And especially having Joe and Shane in our quarterback room, I've learned so much more from them. And talking about that all week and going out and seeing it and repping it and going through it, you know, maybe we don't make that play without those guys. And maybe there is a part of it where you have to just feel it out there, but I think a lot of it can be learned in the film room, and especially when Shane and Joe were teaching us.
Hey Justin, you faced some pretty good defensive fronts already this year. Do you guys change your philosophy because it is Myles Garrett and Clowney that you have to face this week?
I think you have to game plan for every team, and the Browns certainly present a challenge that unlike any other. They've got those front seven. It's unreal, and we have to do everything we can to watch film, to have a solid game plan, to have a solid protection plan, so that when we go out there on Sunday, we're able to recognize the blitzes, protect it solid, and so it's going to require everyone. It's going to require the quarterback, the offensive lineman, and the running backs in protection too, so that we're all firmed up.
What is it about Garrett that makes him such a formidable challenge?
Yeah, I think the combination of size, athleticism, explosiveness, he's able to do everything, you know, and he could defend some passes too, and he's able to do everything. And He's one of those guys that you look and see him on film and he makes plays, and you have to know where he is at all times so that you're ready for what he does.
Justin, another random, because you're wearing those Chargers shirts. Did you take Spanish in high school or college?
I actually grew up in a Spanish immersion program, so I spent a little time in Spanish, but I haven't used it quite as much in the recent years, so that's something I got to keep practicing on.
Can you get by to order food or tacos?
I would be able to speak a little bit. It'd be very slow, but hopefully they'd understand what I'm saying.
Tres tacos, por favor.
Yeah, exactly.
Justin, can you talk about the versatility of the tight end position and how much of a luxury that is for you?
Yeah, especially the way we play them too. They need to be able to run block, pass block, and go out and win on one-on-one matchups. And the guys that we have, Steven Anderson, Jared Cook, Donald Parham, they've done an incredible job so far. And I think the way that Jared Cook is able to win routes and beat man coverage, and Parham, he certainly presents a challenge too. How long he is and how able he's to kind of reach above man coverage and all those zone coverages. I think they've done a great job. And Steven Anderson too in the run game has been an incredible blocker, and he's one of those guys that we've really relied on.
Just
Anthony used to split up the season into quarters. Well, we can't do that anymore. What's your assessment of, but essentially is the first quarter with the Bucks?
Yeah, I think we've played some pretty good football, and there are a lot of things to clean up. But I've been really pleased with the way the guys have performed and battled through a lot of adversity. And we've been down some guys with injuries, but everyone's showed up. They've continued to work hard, and I think if we keep doing the right things on and off the field, in the film room, we keep lifting. I think really highly of this team.